All right, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to the YBO podcast. I'm going to keep this intro short and sweet this week. We're continuing our series of working in the outdoor industry with our guy, Mr. Keaton McGuire. He has gotten to do various jobs related to land management, and he hopes to continue a career in land management. And he's also gotten to be involved with parks and wildlife, specifically here in Kansas. So we hope you guys enjoy this fun little episode with Keaton, and let's get on in it. All right, so we are back with Mr. Keaton McGuire.
How's it going, buddy?
It's going good. And we're just going to talk to him about his experience working in the outdoor industry and, some of the different jobs he's had and like where he's trying to go with it, and then maybe some advice he might have for anybody who's listening, I guess. So, let's hop on into it with, why don't you talk to us about, you've kind of told us your experience as an outdoorsman and stuff like that. So maybe give us a little summary to that, because we've heard it more in depth, but then carry that into the degree you chased and like the different jobs you've done and like your current profession, all that. So,
I've been an outdoorsman since I could remember, ever since I was a kid. And that kind of led me to the wildlife and outdoor enterprise management degree at K-State. Actually, before K-State, at Butler County Community College, for a summer, I worked with the game warden, Butler County.
My job title was a boat holder. You might say, what's a boat holder? Well, I literally hold a boat, make sure they don't hit each other.
But it was, it's really cool just getting that experience, just seeing what the game warden does and how their day goes on the water.
Mm-hmm.
Saw some pretty cool stuff. Saw some pretty sad stuff. One thing was there was a hit and run. And what happened was these guys drinking, and they picked up a girl, and they went back to the campsite, and they had their boat, parked anchored out in the water, and they all get back in it. They're all drunk. They get back in the boat, and without pulling the anchor, they floored it. And so the anchor was still down in the water, and anchor popped up out of the water and hit this girl in the head. So she got a big old gash on her head.
Wow.
And so they dropped her off. They put her back at the campsite, and they hightailed it to the boat ramp, trying to get out of there. But we eventually caught up to him, and he got in trouble. But
yeah, I would hope so. Jesus.
Yeah. So some of that, and just checking fishermen, making sure they're legal limits and whatnot.
Yeah.
But really, really cool experience. Pretty fun stuff. From there, went to K-State. And at K-State, I had an internship at a hunting ranch in Lonesome Coyote Ranch down South Texas. A little bit of stuff, white-tailed deer. They raise white-tailed deer, bobwhite quail, all that fun stuff. But what was really cool about that job, I got to be a volunteer firefighter. And since we're so secluded down there, and there's really not many towns near, like the closest grocery store is like 45 minutes away. So really like nothing out there.
Yeah.
So we had to be a volunteer firefighters. So one time there was a big fire that was called up in another county over. They asked us if we could help, and we had this fire truck. It was called the brush crusher, and it was literally a brush crusher, because this thing, the tires were ginormous on this thing, and it could go over anything. But we took that down there, going about 50 miles an hour down the highway, because as fast as it goes. And we helped everybody else out, fighting this fire. And that was really cool. I've never really fought a fire before, and got to help out with that. And that was pretty neat. But other than that, trapping pigs and spraying mesquite trees and whatnot.
Yeah. So yeah, you mentioned spraying mesquite trees, and it's a deer hunting ranch. So you did stuff with the deer herd there and all that.
So like since we raise a white-tailed deer, there's pens, the deer pens, and we go in and check the fawns every morning, check to see if there's newborns, and if there are, we go out there at night when they're less skittish, and you go and get the fawns and give them shots, tags, and tattoos, and do some paperwork on them. But yeah, that's kind of what we did with the deer pins, anyways.
Yeah.
But it was a really pretty good time.
Yeah. I mean, I got to go down when Kendall was working, and I got to have some fun there. But I remember it was either you called me or you texted me, and you're like, bro, guess what? I'm like, what? I'm doing the internship at the ranch.
Yeah.
Because I live down in Corpus. For anybody who's listening and needs context to the story, I lived in Corpus, and you guys were about an hour and a half from where I lived, which prior to that, because we're all from Wichita, Kansas, you guys were 12, 13 hours away from me. And so it was like, dude, sweet. You're like right next to me, basically. So when Kendall was down there, I went and visited him all like a bunch and had a great time. But then you got a hold of me. You're like, bro, guess what? What? I'm doing the internship. I'm like, that's so cool. But I'm not gonna be in Corpus this summer. And you're like, no, because I did my internship in North Carolina. So
yeah, it worked out pretty badly, but it was good experiences for both of us. So that's all.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know both of us had a great time. It was just a bummer because it's like, I think it was like almost perfectly when I was leaving Corpus was when you were showing up there. Like it was insane how close. I was like, wait, when are you getting down here? And you told me, and I'm like, son of a gun, dude, I leave like such day. And we're both like, ah. And then I was like, when are you like heading back to Kansas? And you told me, and I was like, golly, dude, that's like right before I get back. So
yeah,
I mean, it is what it is, but
oh well.
Yeah. So anyway, so you did your internship, you finished out your degree, correct?
Yep. And then recently, this October, just a few months ago, I started a seasonal position with Kansas Department of Wildlife, Parks and Tourism. So I'm pretty much a conservation technician. I believe that's the actual word for it. Something like that. But what I do is pretty much, helping so I work at Melbourne Wildlife Area as a seasonal. And so what I do is help out the public land manager, the assistant manager, and the habitat specialist on the wildlife area. And pretty much, just kind of bettering the habitat for wildlife and, these public hunters, because it is a public area.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff we do is, fighting early succession, which succession is if you leave like an area of land not touched anything, shrubs will grow up, trees will grow up. So you're a lot of that is like fighting that to keep the native grass open. So you don't want these shrubs in there, you can, but you just got to control and manage them.
Yeah.
Wetland management, we got some wetlands on the wildlife area and for ducks.
Yeah.
And right now we are draining a few of them fast to get corn on it, hopefully soon. And usually if you actually want to, manage for moist soil plants, you want to slowly release the water. So like later on this next few weeks, we'll start, slowly letting water out. So
yeah,
how that works is, slowly letting the water out, new growth, start. I don't know. Yeah, pretty much like that, anyways, do some of that. In October, I was doing deer spotlight surveys. So out at night with a local biologist and spotlighting deer and just counting them, kind of see what kind of numbers there are on the wildlife area. That was pretty fun. Also do some waterfowl surveys, so driving around the wetlands and the main lake and counting types of waterfowl species and whatnot, kind of give an idea. Population helps out those public landowners too.
Which, real quick, can I pause?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would just like to say for everybody listening, I can vouch his marsh work is excellent because we had a great duck hunt recently.
Yes, we did, and there's a video of it. So
yep, it is out on the YouTube channel now if you want to go check it out for any of those listening. But yeah, it was very nicely maintained marsh. So like it was cool getting to go out there. So, and it was neat having you because you could basically say, oh, this area is pretty good, or let's go over here. This is a nice spot or stuff like that. So
since that's my office, I get to see where all the ducks are every day.
Yeah.
That was kind of nice. And then there's nice, mowed paths through there where we can easily, hunt out of and whatnot.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to light some fires. So early spring. So when you do prescribed burns in springtime, you're kind of promoting grasses. So if you do it in the summer and late summer, you're promoting forbs. So it kind of what kind of plan you're doing, and kind of depends on when you want to burn. So if there's too many forbs, you want to burn in the spring. If there's too many grasses, less forbs, you want to burn in summer.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I guess that's really about it. What I do, maintenance on equipment and whatnot, state limits and all that fun stuff.
Well, taking all those previous experiences, tell me aspects from each of those jobs. What were some of your favorite aspects and what were your least favorite, or what was some of the hardest things you dealt with or had to learn from each of them?
Okay. Or you mean go to each job?
Yeah. So let's do bolt holder. Tell me the favorite and least favorite thing, and then, lonesome coyote, and then previous. So yeah, just go down the list.
So the cons, I'll start with the cons for everything, and then I'll move into pros. So the cons for the boat holder position, it was a every weekend, every holiday job. So that was kind of the con for that, can't really spend time with friends on the weekends or with holidays with family or whatnot. That was just a summer deal. That was kind of like the con for that. There really wasn't too many cons with it though.
Yeah.
But pretty fun job. A con for the internship down in South Texas, Lonesome Coyote Ranch. The con for that, I tell everybody, it was a paid vacation. So the cons maybe like the heat. I mean, that's really not that bad, but like the heat was just crazy some days.
Yep. South Texas gets up there.
Yeah. But other than that, I guess maybe, experience. I never got to drive a tractor. I kind of wish I did that, but then that's when, the job I have now, I have driven a tractor and I've been learning that stuff like that. A con about this seasonal position here at Melbourne, definitely the experience. I'm learning a lot and I don't have the experience yet, but I will get it. But I wish I had more experience to, I guess, keep moving forward. But I'm learning, and that's where everybody has to start somewhere. So
yeah,
that's that. But cons for that, there's really nothing. I look forward to go to work every day. So
yeah, one of those you're getting paid to do what you you thoroughly enjoy and stuff like that.
Yeah. Pros for the boat holder. I got to work with a game warden all day on a weekend and kind of see what he does, and that was just really cool. Being on the lake, being on the boat in the sun, it was a good time. Oh, and I guess with the boat holder, this was just a funny, just kind of just brought up in my head. There's this party cove at El Dorado Lake, and when we patrol in there, they're all partying, jamming out to their music. But whenever we would drive in there, they would like usually one person's just playing their music, and once we get in there, they play their that Bad Boys song, the
theme song.
cop theme song. And so
Bad boys.
Yeah. So when we get in there, they start blaring it and looking at us, and we try to keep like a straight face. You don't want to like laugh, but
yeah,
I would typically laugh. But the game warden, he was pretty straight faced the whole time.
But I bet once you guys made it out of the cove, both of you like big old grins, like, that's so satisfying.
We got so much attention. I love my attention.
that would be the best thing, dude. I think I would have too much fun. Like, it's probably good that I didn't do that kind of job because I'd probably have too much fun. I would I would do like a slow-mo sunglasses off, start looking at everybody like, what's up, everybody, you know?
Oh yeah.
Dude, that'd be great though.
It was pretty fun. It was cool. But I guess a pro for the internship, I got to spend some really great time with some really great quality people. Lots of memories, and got to shoot some pigs. So took some pig home from that. So that was awesome. But
yeah,
really cool experience. Pros with this seasonal position here at Melbourne Wildlife Area. I am learning a lot, and there's always more to learn, and I'm just constantly learning, which is awesome. Just bettering the habitat for the wildlife and seeing the coolest thing is what it was and what it will be. So like if we have like a management plan we're doing and the project going on and what it was and what it turned out to be, it's just so much better. It's so rewarding. It's really cool that way.
Yeah. So. It sounds like it's just really epic to be able to kind of take your hand and know that your work and the work of others is like influencing and making such a positive influence on that area and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
I could see that. See, like, yeah, as I kind of mentioned, we went up there and did the duck hunting, and I mean, when we got there, it was late season too, which, you know, for me personally, I guess, and this is from my limited duck hunting experience, but for me, the later the season, the less ducks or the less activity, or, you know, but we got up there and I'm like, damn, dude, this is a healthy marsh. Like, there were birds everywhere out there. So it was pretty neat to see the finished product, and then all the videos or all the stuff you guys, or you told me, or told the guys, like, this is what we're doing this week, or showing videos of flooding the marshes or getting it ready, and then to be able to see that end product and benefit from it. So that was cool, getting to be just an outsider looking at what you were doing, I guess. So
yeah, and it's crazy. It's like I think it's like 13,000 acres, something like that, but so much land and there's so much stuff to do constantly.
Yeah.
But you're always staying busy.
Yeah. Is it one of those you almost to the point you show up to work and you're not quite sure what you're going to do each day, sort of thing?
Oh yeah. There's always something different. And like right now it kind of stinks, but you know, we've had all that snow recently. So it's still wet out. The ground's still wet. So it's kind of hard to, you know, put some equipment in there and start getting to work, but we kind of find stuff what we can do. And whatnot.
I guess that's probably one of the hardest parts of that job is you're at the whim of Mother Nature. Like you can only do so much, but in the end, Mother Nature is the dominant factor. So
and there's supposed to be rain in the forecast. We're like, oh, come on.
So. Yeah. All right. Well, cool. Let's go back on your education a little bit. Like, can you describe what your degree was? I know, you know, we're talking with you and we're also talking with Kendall. So both of you are going to really kind of touch on this degree, but, you know, two brains is better than one. You might hit on something he won't.
Okay.
You know? So, can you kind of tell people a little bit more about your degree and like some of the professions that you can get with that degree, or that it helps you get?
So the degree we got was wildlife and outdoor enterprise management, and with that comes with a minor in business,
Mm-hmm.
and also with just a couple more credits in biology. I got a minor in biology, so you get quite a bit of education out of the deal.
Yeah.
Some of the classes are like hospitality, a bunch of biology classes, like a bunch of like business classes like finance and
Mm-hmm.
accounting and whatnot. So you're kind of looking for the business side of the outdoor industry, which I'm not really in now. I'm kind of pushing towards the biology side of it. And that's what some of the fields, some of the careers you can get with this degree is, what I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm.
Some, the classes I took was, waterfowl and wetland management. So we learned about ducks and, wetlands and all that.
Oh my God, did you guys learn about ducks? You kept texting all of us going, what duck is this? What duck is this? We're like, dude, stop.
We became expert duck identification.
Yeah. But, at the same time, you guys had that tool in your back pocket that you love to remind us of. So anytime we saw, like if we were all hanging out and a friggin' duck flew by, you're like, what kind of duck is it? I'm like, bro, the duck is a mile away. You're like, its flying pattern means it was such. I'm like, dude, shut up.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is cool. You guys can literally look at something, just tell us, and we're like, all right, cool. We don't have to look it up.
And that came handy with my job now, because our waterfowl surveys. I gotta know what ducks are out there and kind of identify them that way too.
Yeah, for sure.
Other classes, mammalogy, which was cool. So a lot of that though, we learned about a bunch of different rodents, scientific names and how to identify. If we saw a skull, we're supposed to know what rodent that went to. But and like deer and whatnot. But we learned all about that. Flora and fauna of the Great Plains. So the animals and plants of the Great Plains. Learned about that. A lot of plant identifications, which is neat. I'm really enjoying that. Just kind of seeing plants and saying, hey, this is what that is. This is.
Yeah.
I think it comes pretty handy sometimes, especially
Dude, agree. Now you're out in a a well-maintained area, and it's not just a bunch of grass anymore to you. It's like, no, there's all these species. This is how this helps, and all that stuff, I bet. So
okay, you definitely need to know your noxious plants,
yeah,
like Sericea lespedeza. You don't want that out there.
But sure, I don't know what that is, but sure.
That's a bad plant.
Yeah. Well, thank you for telling me that.
Yeah. What other classes?
Didn't you guys go do like a kind of a field trip or something to New Mexico for?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That was our first class with the program. That was before school even started, and they sent us out to New Mexico. I think it was just to say, hey, this program's badass. You guys should stick with it. And that's pretty much what happened.
Basically, they were oh gosh, what is the word?
Bribing?
They were bribing you hard, weren't they?
Yeah. They were. But we went to the NRA Whittington Center in New Mexico and stayed in their cabins and did some skeet shooting. Kind of like learned about how they manage their shooting ranges and stuff like that. Learned about some different types of guns and whatnot. But
so started hitting a little bit on the business stuff with that, like the hospitality and business side of things a little bit there.
Yeah. Yep. Kind of learn how they run things at the NRA Whittington Center and what they offer to people and whatnot. But
yeah,
it was just a really cool, fun experience. And the crazy thing is, so we're in these cabins up in the mountains, and there's mountain lions in the area. And so it must have happened at night, but the next morning, we saw a paw print on the door, and it was a
Okay.
mountain lion paw print. Everything was big, but it was just
Yeah.
on the door. That was crazy. So there's mountain lions in the area and whatnot.
Dude, that'd be epic. And I know a lot of people like the idea of a mountain lion scares the crap out of people, but it's like more of not, dude. They don't give a damn about you. They see you or they even smell you and they're like, nope, other way.
But they're gonna see you before you see them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they definitely own that area, but I don't remember for sure. I'm pretty sure it's Kendall, but wasn't Kendall the one to take that freaking wine tasting class or whatever it was?
So he took a like intro to wines, and then both of us took like a beverage management class, and that
Yeah.
was more in depth. So like with that
Okay.
class, we got to taste, our whiskeys, our
Oh,
tequilas, our
oh,
wines, our coffees, everything beverage, and we got to sit in class and drink some alcohol.
yeah. And that wasn't just you guys like, oh man, this be a cool class, but that actually played into the hospitality and management
So,
side of your degree, right?
yeah, so you had to take certain amount of credits in hospitality,
Mm-hmm.
and like, why not? Beverage management sounds neat. You drink while you're in class.
Yeah, dude.
Do it.
Yeah, I just remember when Kendall told me at least that he was taking his wine tasting class, I was just like, no, because I know, dude, Kendall capitalizes off of being able to know stuff, like just from some of your guys' biology related classes and how often he loves quizzing you and things like that. So when he did the wine one, I just knew, man, that we were about to get smart ass Kendall going, what kind of wine is this? Oh, it has a nice bouquet of the, or, and sure enough, dude, oh my gosh, we were always getting videos of him sitting there sniffing and start mixing his wine up and sipping it. And he had that stupid accent of, oh, this wine is very tasteful. Do you remember that?
Would you like a nice Cabernet Sauvignon?
Oh man. But yeah. Oh, Kendall, we love him, but he's a weirdo.
He's something else. He ain't my twin, I can tell you that.
Well, cool. So yeah, your degree, you really, it sounds like it's very diverse, which is something I know personally for me with going with my degree, I wanted something diverse. I don't like degrees that are so specifically specified in one thing unless that's what you're doing, because then it really ties you down. But so with a degree like that, what are some of the big career paths you can take with that?
So you can work for like hunting outfitters, lodges, and whatnot. There's one down in eastern Kansas, Flint Oak, which is a pheasant ranch, and they actually were a big part of the program at K-State, because we actually got helped them out and volunteered. But it's a big hunting lodge that they got oh gosh, shotgun shooting sports, like 5-stand and sporting clays and whatnot, and they have your pheasant hunts. So like like a hunting outfitter. Other jobs are raising pheasants, and that was another class we took, was upland game bird management. Learned all about how to raise pheasants and whatnot, pheasants and quail. Another job could be different types of guides, fishing guides to hunting guides and whatnot. What I do now.
Yeah, what you do, like land management stuff or whatever.
Land, habitat management, wildlife management, stuff like that.
Could you take that degree and go be a game warden as well, for example?
Yeah. There's actually a guy that was in my program, and he just messaged me a few weeks ago and said he's got a game warden position in Kansas, so he could do something like that.
That's pretty neat. So sounds like a very unique but very cool degree for people who are wanting to be in the outdoors, period.
Yeah. And the program is getting better and better every year, it sounds like.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, just listening to you guys, it sounds like a pretty well established program that hits on a lot of different. I mean, I think when you were kind of telling me about it, I didn't think much of it, but then the more you guys dove into it, I'm like, geez, man, they really cover a freaking range here, from science down to, like you were saying, the hospitality stuff and land management. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
There's a lot of stuff.
What's up?
I said there's a lot of stuff involved with the program, so it's pretty diverse. And
I could definitely say very confidently, if I didn't end up where I ended up, I could easily imagine doing what you guys did, like that kind of degree.
I can't picture me doing anything different. I don't know what I would have done if it wasn't for that program. So
yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, so, based off your degree and based off your experience, where are you wanting to take your career? Like, do you want to stay in the land management kind of stuff? Do you want to maybe transition over into being a game warden? Do you want to completely abandon the outdoors? Which I'm just covering my ass in the question here, because I know the likelihood of you doing that is, my chances of winning the lottery are better than you quitting the outdoor industry. But where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
Well, I heard Walmart's hiring, so I'm just kidding.
You gonna be one of those door greeters?
Yeah, I might have to. You guys doing okay? Yeah. Where I picture myself, obviously just, keep growing and keep learning. There's always something to learn. So I just want to keep moving up. But from here, I could be a habitat specialist.
Mm-hmm.
But what I really picture myself is working with the private land side. I think it's really cool, just helping out these private land owners, how they can benefit their habitat on their property. And there's also financial benefits if they, do different management practices, such as like prescribed burning. They can get paid for that. I just want to help them out through that. But that's where I see myself as, being an environmental associate position for private lands, or, being just a wildlife biologist, private lands kind of thing. So
really into the land management side of things.
Yeah, I think it's so cool seeing a piece of property, what it is and what it could be. So
yeah. Almost like a big sandbox or whatever, and you get to make a sand castle kind of thing.
Yeah, and you can do it however you want to do it, and you can make it happen. So
yeah, no, that's pretty epic. So for folks who are interested in this career path, or are considering like trying to take this direction, what are some key pieces of advice that you could give somebody, or things that maybe you didn't know that you wish you knew, or that you think they could do that can get them farther ahead than maybe where you've ended up, or something like that?
Okay. So experience is number one. You can have as much knowledge and book smart or whatever. You can have an infinite amount of that, but if you don't have any experience, you're not going to get anywhere. So internships, strive for doing an internship, maybe like a seasonal position, what I'm in now. Just go out there and get experience. KDWP, Kansas Wildlife and Parks Tourism, they're always having job offers. So bunch of seasonal positions open right now. But yeah, experience for sure. If somebody has a tractor, just learn how to drive a tractor.
Yeah. Just stuff like that. More or less be like Batman, I guess. Get as many tools in your utility belt as possible.
Yes.
That's a good, I need to write that down. That was a good analogy, right?
I liked it.
Coolio. So yeah, experience is the main thing for the most part.
Because I've heard people with a bunch of, they're very smart, and they had straight A's in college, but they don't have any experience, you're not going to get hired.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean,
but you need to start somewhere. Like a seasonal position is a great way to start to get
Mhm.
experience.
Yeah, and I the experience thing really feeds into not only yours, but I've seen that with a lot of different professions nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is definitely one of those. Everybody and their mother has a degree now, it feels like.
Yep.
And there's so many jobs I've even, went looking at that at times they will say for their requirements, you know, bachelor's in such field or equivalent experience or portfolio that basically proves you know what you're doing or stuff like that. But that's like frequent. Like I see a lot of jobs that do stay pretty conventional of we want this bachelor's degree or we want this or da da da. But I've seen a lot of jobs, even some bigger companies that are like, if you can prove to us that you know what you're talking about, who cares about that piece of paper sometimes? And I'm like, wow.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
it's crazy. It seems like it's become more and more common that way too. So
yeah, which I'm not bashing college, because if it wasn't for college, there's so much, experience or connections or things I just would not have learned on my own.
yeah.
So college is definitely beneficial if you use it, but yeah, experiences that'll get you. That's what's kicking my butt right now is I've gotten some experience, but still just not enough for some people. But
yeah, it's just crazy though, because it seems like you've got a lot of experience, but
nope, I'm basically a child in the grand scheme of things. And I mean, I respect that though too, because you think about it, just for both of us, really, like what we've only been doing for a couple years, like a little bit, and we've been doing like lower on the food chain kind of jobs, I guess you could say. And we're going against people that have been doing this for 5, 10, 15, 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, in the grand scheme of things, a couple of years is nothing. So
yeah, we'll see what happens later down the road for us.
We shall see. So felt like there was another question I had that was rattling around my brain, but maybe I'm just imagining things. But is there anything else you'd like to touch on or talk about or anything else before we sign off tonight?
I guess if any of you guys out there have any questions on, how to get involved in the outdoor industry, don't be afraid to ask. All of us have, kind of been in some way or form been a part of the outdoor industry or know somebody that is in it, and we can always help you guys there. So
cool.
Other than that,
yeah, no, I like that. Just shoot us DMs or, reach out to us, or if you know us personally, just holler at us. But, well, coolio, Mr. Keaton, thank you for hopping on here and talking a little bit about, what you do and where you've gotten. So hopefully this might intrigue somebody and get them thinking, wow, maybe that's what I want to do. Or maybe that's just people who didn't quite know how to, I guess, take that first step. So,
right. Yeah.
But all right. Well, thanks, sir. And we will we'll hear from you later.
Awesome. See you, buddy.
All right. See you, boss.